This case considered the issue of fixtures and whether or not a tenant who leased a theatre had the right to remove seats in the theatre, and whether or not the rent for a new lease should be calculated with or without the presence of these fixtures. In this case, a company had leased a theatre for a period of 72 years. They entered into a new lease for a period of a further 21 years. During the second lease, there was a dispute regarding the rent, and the tenant vacated the theatre, while the dispute regarding the rent was dealt with at arbitration. The company had removed items from the theatre that had been installed on the basis that they were tenants' fixtures, and argued that the rent should be calculated based on the absence of all the tenants' fixtures, whether they had been removed or not. The landlord objected to this and argued that the items should not have been removed and were landlord's fixtures, and that the rents should be calculated as if the items had not been removed. They argued that if the right to remove them was not expressed in the lease, then the items would become landlord's fixtures, and that since the tenant had surrendered their lease, that therefore the tenant had lost their right to remove these items. The tenant, however, argued that even though they had surrendered the lease, they still remained in possession and retained their right to remove the fixtures. The central issue for the court was whether or not the tenant had the right to remove these items. The court ultimately held that the items did